Oh my gosh.
Get real.
No. Y'all, just stop.
This is a sham.
It's finally here. Drum roll. Welcome to DBL. We have a very special show for you today. Yes, we do. We're looking at some of our most memorable guests. So who could forget our time with legendary talk show host Jerry Springer? He paid a visit to our studio to talk about one of his most memorable guests on the Jerry Springer Show. Watch. Is there one episode that stands out to you as like the absolute like weirdest?
Yeah, the 27th. No, the guy who married his horse is always the one I go to.
I'm sorry?
Horse, he said.
Horse.
Here it is.
Yeah. Sam.
Horse.
Oh, my
Ew. Oh, my God.
No, we actually went to the home. The guy lived outside of Branson, Missouri, and his hallways in the house were extra wide because the horse lived in the house with him. I'm never allowed to know what the show's about. So they're not, I carry the card, but the card only has the names of the guests, so I never know the subject, so that my response will be, you know, legitimate. So all of a sudden, this guy's on the show. His name's Bob, let's say. I forget what it was. But Bob, what's going on? I'm having trouble with my neighbors. Why? Well, they don't seem to like my wife. Why don't they like your wife? I don't know. She's quiet. She keeps to herself, etc. So this is boring. So I go to the next name. All right, let's bring her out. Here's Pixel. Out comes this horse. But here's the thing. When Pixel came out, I thought what any normal person would think is that his poor wife fell off the horse backstage.
Oh my gosh.
So I said, stop. You know, we'll redo this. Is she okay? And then the executive producer is screaming, no, that's his wife.
Oh my God.
Is that this guy standing over here?
Yeah, that's executive producer.
Bert, God love him, who started me on the show, he was,
I was there, yeah.
Wow, with the horse?
Was you telling me that's the wife. I thought it was Richard. Oh! Nicely done.
That's awesome. Wow, we love you. Look at this full circle moment.
I know.
Yeah.
It seems like an unstable relationship with the horse. Okay,
Tori, she just can't help herself.
That was a good one, the stable.
What's interesting to me is, you know, when
Besides our producer Chris walking through that shot. Just a man walking through in a jacket.
Workout, buddy. What's interesting to me about Jerry is he's kind of been on this apology tour, apologizing for doing Jerry Springer and like the culture of it, but we all loved it.
Exactly.
We all watched.
But don't you have to apologize? Just a blanket statement. I'm sorry for everything I've ever did. Don't cancel me.
Please don't. We had another person that totally won us all over, Mark Summers from the game show Double Dare. She's no stranger to our show. Recently, he came on to talk about being neighbors with Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, and didn't mind spilling a little tea in the process. Take a look. Bless you.
I don't get the whole royal deal. Okay?
I don't either.
It makes zero sense to me that in 2022 we're even talking about these
What
folks.
about the tradition from 1066, William the Conqueror? That's important to them.
It draws a lot of money into England. That I understand. But Meghan and the Prince live, you know, not too far down the road, and you know, some people love Meghan. Some people don't like Meghan. The question is he going to wake up one day, Harry, and go, did I screw up my entire life? Or, you know, this is the life I want to lead? The people I know who have run into him say lovely things about them. They go out to dinner. He rides his bike and takes his kid down to a beach, and the dog's there, and I hear wonderful things. The rumor in town is that their security bill a month, I heard, is insane.
Oh,
I can imagine.
I can imagine.
I heard $19,000 a month, but it may be more than that.
Oh, he's giving us the tea, you guys.
That's what I've heard. And now they want to move to another area because where they are, the home originally cost $50 million. They got it for $14 million. But it's a $50 million house, and they have to maintain a boatload of, you know, bushes and trees and grass and stuff like that. They want to move to an area called Hope Ranch, which doesn't have as much of that going on. But the people in the Hope Ranch area don't want them there for all the obvious reasons with the tourists and all that other kind of stuff. You can't even get to their house. There's a massive gate and all this other kind of stuff. But, you know, let them live their lives. You know, I really don't. people say, have you run into him? No. I wouldn't bother them anyway. What would I say? Hey, Princey baby, how's it going today?
I would want him to double dare you to say that. Hey, Princey.
Although there's quite a lot of talk in your neighborhood.
Yeah, it seems like it. You had some very specific details.
Like
I love that about neighborhoods. Yeah.
Mark, you're in on the gossip in the neighborhood, huh? A housewife.
Well, and I get this thing on my phone every morning about what's going on.
There's a newsletter.
There's a newsletter, there is. Yeah.
Oh, I saw the prince walking his dog.
There's neighborhood gossip for sure.
Man, Mark was like TMZ.
Yeah, no problem.
None.
First of all, Double Dare, I mean, you look back at nostalgia. Nostalgia is so popular today to like think back when we all used to be little kids watching Double Dare, and then here he was on our show. For me, it was like crazy surreal.
My best friend growing up wrote me and said, I cannot believe you're sitting next to the guy we watch for hours eating SpaghettiOs all the time. By the way, shout out to SpaghettiOs. Delicious.
Good point.
Okay, there is never a dull moment when our friend Mary Lou Henner pays us a visit, and she didn't waste any time roasting Jeff during a discussion about intimacy and aging. Take a look.
You can teach people. I mean, trust me. Earlier in some of my relationships, I had to take a mirror out once or twice. You know, because a lot of times, you know, it's.
What do you do with the mirror?
Like fried green tomatoes, the movie.
Well, I wasn't making fried green tomatoes.
Yeah.
I mean, no, it's like you're so right. Let's explain to Jeff during the commercial. Okay, so here's the thing.
What are you doing with a mirror? I mean, the things that I use a mirror for, if I'm doing it, I don't really want to see.
Yeah.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
Talking about an instructional mirror.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Whoa. Okay.
Yeah.
Here's the thing: that you can teach your partner how to be better. You know, because a lot of times these alpha guys just show up, and the beta guys turn everything into a meal. You know, and men are clueless. Hence the mirror. Okay. So,
I'm still on the beta, like I was talking about fighting goldfish. What's happening? I don't know what's going on.
oh my God! I should have given you a tutorial before we started this.
Well, good to see you again, Mary Lou. By the way, good to see you.
Poor Jeff.
Yeah. They have an interesting relationship.
They sure
That's how like your
do.
older folks, they'd be like, they have an interesting relationship.
They sure do. But she's spicy, isn't she?
Oh, yes.
I liked her.
Coming up on DBL, they're not your average baseball team. We talk with the owner of the Savannah Bananas to find out why people travel from all over to see them play. And a man who made it his mission to help close the wealth gap by putting college dreams in reach for thousands of kids. His inspiring story when we return. Okay.
I have to go to the wall, but I do need to say, you guys know I fiercely defend Thanksgiving. It's my favorite holiday just because I feel like it's the only holiday where people really break their neck to get home.
That's a fair point. I'm going on Thanksgiving to get home.
It's the only one where people would be like, almost no matter what you'll pay, because Christmas you're like, I saw you Thanksgiving. Christmas is like, when you get older, I think it's easier to do it on Zoom, and it's more for kids, and then, you know, Christmas dinner is just like, let's be honest, second tier Thanksgiving. You know, Christmas dinner is not matched. It's copied off Thanksgiving. It's worse Thanksgiving dinner. So Thanksgiving's the only one where like you were going to sit down for sure over a meal with people that would never, not never, but like even if they're infirmed or it's like difficult to get there, bad weather, which is a lot. It's that's the thing. I just like that it's people that come together. Christmas is more like the season. I feel.
I love Thanksgiving.
I do too, but I'm flying on Thanksgiving.
That's a good day to fly.
Yeah,
Right, which is good.
Yeah.
But do I have the Thanksgiving the next day with my family, or I just say go ahead and eat?
No, you just have it when you get home.
Yeah,
Like the next.
You don't have
it's
one
like
the next day because the next day is going to be weird.
I know.
I took Thanksgiving from my parents, and
You
that was
usurped
a
Thanksgiving.
decision that I made, and I don't care. Because one year, we traveled home, and now getting home is harder. It's not a direct flight, right? Get all the way there, and my dad had some of his friends come over, and they literally sat at my family's Thanksgiving table after they left their family's house, and we sat on the floor and ate Thanksgiving dinner. And that was the last time that my parents ever hosted Thanksgiving. Now I make everybody come to Denver, and it is fabulous, and there is a seat for everybody.
Stand by, Al.
Welcome back. Money, or lack thereof, it stops thousands of Americans from going to college every year. But self-made millionaire Pete Cadence is hoping to change that. Earlier, we spoke with him about his remarkable program. Take a look.
My parents weren't wealthy, but they were extremely well educated.
After graduating from college, Pete starts 5 different companies over a 20-year period.
Using a baseball analogy, some were singles, some were doubles, and one was a grand slam.
He builds one of the largest cannabis companies in the world.
We took the company public, and then I was able to retire at the age of 40.
But retirement is a mindset, not a way of life.
Look, I'm a guy who made a fortune in an industry that was built by black and brown people. And the only difference between me and them is I did it under a state legal construct and made a fortune.
With that in mind, Pete starts a nonprofit.
My philosophy on philanthropy is pay it backward. Who were the people who suffered? Who were the communities who suffered so I could succeed?
He starts in his hometown, founding Hope Toledo.
The delta between successful and the less successful was education and educational access.
Pete's program helps high school students find their passion before sending them off to college for free.
We pay for everything. That's tuition, room and board, books and fees, and give them a $1,000 semester stipend.
But Pete isn't done. He sets his sights higher and starts Hope Chicago.
You will go to college for free!
But the surprise isn't over.
Pete left one important part out. Parents, guess what? You're going back to school too.
Oh my gosh, I'm not crying. You're crying.
Oh my
We're all
goodness.
crying. Please welcome to the show, Pete Cadence. Oh. Yes, Erica's crying too.
First of all, Pete, I just have to tell you, as a Chicagoan myself, my mother is an educator of over 30 years. Her focus has been on lower quartile, as they call it, students. This is so amazing. I really didn't expect to get emotional because I knew you were coming on, but you know, you surprised 5 Chicago schools with scholarships. How did you pull off these surprises, and how did you get the families to get there?
Well, that's always the secret sauce, working through the principals and administration. We told them, if you blow our surprise, these students may not benefit. We rolled all the people in and all the news cameras in behind the scenes, and we got it done. It was super exciting.
Oh my God. I started bawling when that older woman realizes, and she starts to cry. Now look at me. Ridiculous. But I just wanted to ask you about the energy in the room, because we all felt it right when you said it, and she said, you're going back too. What is it like? What do the students, the parents say?
Yeah, I would say, you know, I was a very good high school basketball player. I know that may seem difficult to believe, but I remember running out the tunnel in the state quarterfinals in front of 10,000 people, and that was the most euphoric feeling of my entire life. And I always have been trying to replicate that euphoric feeling for the rest of my life.
Wow.
And that euphoric feeling is the way I feel when I tell kids and families that they're going to college for free.
We need to know right now, how many students have you helped so far?
As of right now, 4,300 people are going to college for free.
Oh my gosh.
And we got work to do. Like I said, we got more money to raise. But our goal over the next 10 years is to send 30,000 underserved families to college or trade school totally for free. If we can do that, we don't just change educational outcomes. And this is the core thing that I want everyone who's listening to remember. We will change societal outcomes. The intractable issues in the south and west sides of Toledo and Chicago, which are gun violence, you know, commerce and food deserts, the longevity gap between the south side and the north side of Chicago. We will close all those gaps.
Can you run for president?
You know what? It's funny. A lot of people say that. I will likely run for an office someday.
Yeah, you should.
But this isn't why I'm doing this.
Okay, so your program not only sends students to college for free, but it also sends a parent or a guardian. Why is it important to include mom and dad in the mix?
I actually taught in the high school that was profiled in 60 Minutes. Johnson College Prep in Englewood. That was part of my journey. When I retired, I was like, look, if I want to solve complex issues, I have to get proximate to those issues. Nothing worse than a white messiah who goes into an underserved black or brown community and telling them what the answers are, right? And so What I did is I went into these communities and I figured out that a lot of what we were doing is we were sending one generation anomalies off to college.
Right.
And guess what? They were never coming back to those communities and reinvesting in those communities. So what I gleaned from that is because poverty is multi-generational, so too does our college scholarship program.
Well said. You walk the walk.
He's got my vote.
I know. DBL Nation, if you want to learn more about Hope Chicago, or if you want to donate to this remarkable program, visit hopechicago.org. Pete, thank you is not enough. We'll be right back.
Thank you.
Wow.
Thank you.
Thanksgiving leftovers. They may taste super yummy to you, but be careful before serving that food to your furry family members. We checked with these sources and they say many of the foods on the Thanksgiving table, well, they aren't safe for pets to eat. First up, the main event. While turkey is often used in commercial dog food and can be healthy for dogs when cooked plain, Thanksgiving turkeys are packed with flavor, or at least they should be. And the fats, oils, spices, and seasonings used to flavor it, as well as the skin, well, they can be dangerous to pets. That's because too much fat puts pets at risk of pancreatitis, which, according to the Pet Poison Helpline, is an inflammation of the pancreas that can result in vomiting, diarrhea, loss of appetite, and abdominal pain for your pet. So, it's a no for turkey. Next up, the holiday ham. According to the American Kennel Club, ham contains a higher fat content than most other types of meat. It's often high in salt and sugar, according to Purina. Both of those are reasons why ham is bad for pets. So how about stuffing or dressing? Onions, garlic, and chives, well, they're all common ingredients in stuffing, and they're poisonous to both dogs and cats, according to the Pet Poison Helpline. So it's a no for all of these items too. But there are some plain foods often used in Thanksgiving dishes that are safe for pets. Apples, green beans, sweet potatoes, zucchini, winter squash, carrots, and popcorn are all on the Pet Poison Helpline's list of pet-safe foods. It's important to stress, though, that these foods must be free of oil, butter, fats, sugar, spices, seasonings, and salt. According to the American Veterinary Medical Association, the safest way to treat your pet during the holiday season, well, it's to share some treats or a holiday-themed toy. With your Verify, I'm Ariana.
Welcome back to DBL. There is no crying in baseball, but for one team, there's dancing, singing, and a whole lot of bananas. We sat down with the Savannah Bananas owner, Jesse Cole. But first, let's see what makes the fans go bananas. Take a look.
You better have some energy ready to go because we're going to need to bring it. We do a full march, full dance. We have confetti go off. We're singing, we're dancing. We open the gates and people run to their seats. ESPN has called us the greatest show in sports. We started with traditional baseball with all the dancing and the senior citizen dance team, the Banana Nanas. But then after watching our fans, even the fact that we sold out every single game and people started leaving games early. So we said, could we develop a faster game? So we developed Banana Ball. It's a 2-hour time game. If you win the inning, you get a point. Batters can't step out of the batter's box. There's no walks, there's no bunting, and if fans catch a foul ball, it's an out. What most businesses do, they look at how do they drive sales, revenue, and profit. We're focused on what we do to drive fans. Whatever's normal, do the exact opposite. That's been a mindset that has driven our company and driven who we are and what we stand for. Every night I'm wearing this and it gives permission to our staff to have fun. If the owner's running around in a yellow tuxedo, why can't we all have a little bit more fun? We know we're not just baseball players, but we're entertainers. Whenever you do something that gives you energy and brings joy and brings fun and happiness, you want to do more of it. But I also have this huge responsibility to bring this to more people. I'm interested in becoming a billion fan brand.
Yes! Oh my God, please welcome to the show Savannah Bananas owner Jesse Cole.
Yeah,
Jesse!
Yes.
Jesse, I mean, what you put together over there, I love it. We know you're all about fans first. What would you say is the biggest ode to the banana fans? I like saying that.
Well, the name of our company is Fans First Entertainment. So everything we do is fans first. There's no ticket fees. There's no convenience fees. Whoa. Every ticket's all inclusive in Savannah. Literally, we have no shipping fees, and even at our ballpark, we give the whole stadium back to the fans with no ads at the entire ballpark. We eliminated every ad from our stadium, and we honor all our fans. We even have a banana baby before the game, where we put a baby in a banana costume, and we lift them up the air and sing, "Na Spaña Nahi," to celebrate our new fans. So everything's about the fans.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
Banana babies.
I know.
I got a million questions.
It's true. What I love about this, though, Jesse, is like the hustle, because you bought the team with your wife. I'm sure there was a ton of sacrifices that were made in order to get it to start out.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we sold 2 tickets in our first 3 months. By January of 2016, we overdrafted our account. We were completely out of money. My wife and I had to sell our dream house, and we were sleeping on an airbed with only $30 a week to grocery shop for everything. We were down to nothing, and that's where we were. And we said we're going all in and trying to create the greatest show in sports and the most fun team in baseball.
Wow, but they had the vision. Look at that. I know.
The vision and the comeback story, because you've sold out every game since the first season. So what's the wait list to come to a game like this, and how far have you seen people travel for these games?
Yeah, it's wild. We have the Banana Ball World Tour now. We're going to 33 cities. The wait list is coming up on 200,000, so it's a pre-sale list. I mean, every single city has a list over 10,000 to go to. It's wild. And yeah, I mean, every night we have fans coming from over 30 states, 5 to 10 countries. And we had a family come up to me and said, "We had so much fun at this game." I go, "Oh, where'd you come into town from?" They said, we drove here from Utah. It was a 40-hour drive, and we're driving back tomorrow." In my mind, I'm like, what is wrong with you? But that's what's happening.
That's amazing. I love how you say your slogan, whatever's normal, do the exact opposite. There's a line in Willy Wonka where he says, "A little nonsense now and then is relished by the wisest men." So I wanted to know what's been the best side effect of this really non-traditional but fantastic approach.
I mean, everything we do is wild. I mean, literally, we have a breakdancing coach, the senior citizen dance team, the Bananas, a twerking, a male cheerleading team, the Mananas. Our guys come up to bat with their bat on fire, a player on stilts. So everything that's not normal, we go all in on.
I love that. Fun.
I was on the fence on getting a banana hat because I didn't want to jump on the bandwagon. I'm ordering a banana hat right after this, Jesse. But what would you do? People call you the Jackie Moon of baseball. Do you get that reference?
I've heard the Jackie Moon. Great reference. Mostly, I think that people say the P.T. Barnum of baseball. I've read every book on P.T. Barnum, Walt Disney. I mean, I'm dramatically trying to reimagine the game. I mean, that's why we now play a 2-hour time game where if fans catch a foul ball, it's an out. It's all about the fans.
Who comes up with these ideas? Do you, or is it a team of people?
We have a great team, but yeah, every single morning I write down 10 ideas. I've been doing it for 7 years, and I've had about 5,000 terrible ideas, but a few good ones.
That's good.
I love this guy.
Unbelievable how just when you talk and show the footage. I mean, my daughter's here. She's been watching the whole show. This is the only time she's paid attention.
Yeah.
She's super into it. She's like, oh,
it's infectious.
I know. Yeah. I can't wait to go to a game. Thank you so much for joining us, Jesse, and for making baseball fun for fans everywhere. To our viewers, you can find the Savannah Bananas all over social media at the Sav Bananas. We'll be right back. You're awesome.
That was awesome,
Jesse.
Thank you, guys.
Thanksgiving was a time to come together, give thanks, and eat way too much turkey. In fact, most people don't eat everything on the dinner table, with the National Resources Defense Council estimating 200 million pounds of turkey will end up in the trash. So it's no surprise a top trending question on Google is about leftovers. But let's verify. Are leftovers safe to eat all weekend? Our sources are the USDA, the Mayo Clinic, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, and a postdoctoral associate of food safety at Virginia Tech, who explains the time to think about storing leftovers starts almost immediately after Thanksgiving dinner is served.
Right away would be ideal, but if possible within 2 hours, you want to refrigerate those leftovers, especially making sure to break down any larger pieces of meat.
Duong says it's okay to put food that's still hot in the refrigerator. If properly stored, the Mayo Clinic says leftovers will hold for 3 to 4 days. So it's true. Leftovers are safe to eat all weekend if properly stored. Anything longer, and the USDA warns dangerous levels of bacteria start to grow. The CDC says cases of food poisoning caused by Clostridium, which grows in cooked foods, peak around the holidays. Many outbreaks are tied back to turkey, roast beef, and other leftovers. So if you don't think you can eat the leftovers by Monday, consider portioning it out and freezing some right away.
A freezer is sort of like a win-win situation where you sort of are able to keep food at that peak freshness for a lot longer compared to a refrigerator.
With your Verify, I'm Brandon Lewis. To receive daily fast facts to your phone, text Verify to 202-410-8808. And to sign up for our newsletter, visit verifythis.com/email. Do you remember sitting around the dining room table, picking at your baked potato, and your parents telling you that you had to eat the skin because that's where the vitamins are? It turns out I'm not the only one who heard this. Several Verify viewers reached out on social media to ask, are all of the vitamins and nutrients in potatoes stored in the skin? So let's verify. Our sources are the Cleveland Clinic, a study published in the Journal of Agricultural and Food Chemistry, nutrition research from the UK's University of Surrey, the Idaho Potato Commission, and Potatoes USA. Potatoes are loaded with vitamins and actually healthy before you add all the butter, cream, and other ingredients. The Cleveland Clinic says potatoes have more potassium than bananas and almost as much vitamin C as an orange. But to get the full effect, our sources say you'll need to eat both the flesh and the skin. This is because the vitamins are spread out. For example, about a quarter of the potassium and a fifth of the vitamin C is in the skin, and the rest is in the flesh. If you're looking for folate or vitamin B9, then you can get more from just eating the skin than the flesh. And for help digesting your meal, you'll find more than half of the potato's fiber in the skin. So, no, all of the vitamins and nutrients in potatoes are not stored in the skin, but a lot are. When cooked whole, the skin also helps protect vitamins in the flesh from breaking down due to the intense heat. With your Verify, I'm Brandon Lewis.
Welcome back to DBL. We love hearing from our viewers, and some have a few questions for us. Okay, who's on the hot seat? Looks like it's Al. This is from you, or this is for you rather, from Donna. Please settle this debate in our house. Should toilet paper be over or under? Ooh, this is in my house too.
Absolutely over, because you want it to dangle over, because then you can make the cool triangle like they make at fancy hotels. If you have that in your house, people are like, I see you're doing well. Gotta be over.
I see you're doing well. Okay, Erica, Sydney wants to know, who is a better cook, you or your husband?
It depends on what's on the menu. Now, Anthony's carbonara and his linguine with clam sauce, excellent. My Mediterranean trout, much better than his.
Okay.
So it just depends on what's being.
I don't know about that.
Can you
just said Mediterranean trout. That's nobody's best dish.
Yeah, trout.
That's
really
super
good.
random. What are you, a fisherman in Lake Erie? No.
It's really good.
I'm sure it is, but that's not anybody's go-to dish.
It is my go-to.
Trout? Nothing to compare. Exactly. All right, DB's new every day. Oh.
If you are hosting your first Thanksgiving or you're a pro at the Thanksgiving meal, these are some of the most common questions so you can keep everyone safe from foodborne illnesses this holiday season.
Our sources for these questions, Mary Alice Coffey, supervisor of Butterball's Turkey Talk Line and the Food and Drug Administration. The first question, can you put stuffing in your turkey before it goes in the oven?
Stuffing is perfectly acceptable to go ahead and stuff your Butterball turkey.
Coffey tells us that when you take your turkey out of the oven, make sure the stuffing temperature is at 165 degrees and don't put the stuffing in days before it goes in the oven.
Don't make it the day ahead of time. Just go ahead and make it and then put it right in the oven.
So we can verify that yes, you can put stuffing in your turkey right before it goes in the oven. The next question, can you thaw your turkey at room temperature on the counter?
No, we would never recommend leaving the turkey out on the counter.
Coffey says the best way to thaw your turkey is by placing it in water.
I would recommend putting it in cold water. It takes about 30 minutes a pound. You want to put it in, change the water every 30 minutes.
When it's finished thawing, Coffey tells us to then place the turkey on a tray and put it in the refrigerator until you cook it. So we can verify that no, you should not thaw your turkey at room temperature on the counter.
The FDA says when your turkey is done, use your food thermometer in the thickest part of the breast, and it should read at least 165 degrees Fahrenheit. With your Verify, I'm Megan Bragg.
Are you skeptical of headlines and what you see on social media? We are too. The Verify newsletter helps you distinguish between true and false information by answering your questions. It provides fast facts on trending topics, spotlights major stories, and even includes a daily fun fact for all those trivia buffs out there. Get Verify's Fast Facts delivered every weekday to your email inbox. Go to verifythis.com/email to check it out.
This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about.
Oh my gosh.
Get real.
No. Y'all, just stop.
This is a sham.
It's finally here. Drum roll. Welcome to Daily Blast Live. Today we are looking back at some of our most memorable guests.
Yes.
That's right. We had so much fun with Kevin Smith when he joined us in studio with Mary Lou Henner, of course. We know him as the director, writer, and actor behind cult classics like Clerks, Mallrats, and Dogma. But did you also know he and Mary Lou are neighbors? Check it out.
Mary Lou lives above me.
I was going to ask, what kind of neighbor is Mary Lou?
She can literally, if the earthquake happens, Mary Lou winds up in my pool.
Does Mary Lou see smoke coming from it?
Probably.
I can take videos. I can watch their parties. I think your satellite dish is still on my property.
Probably.
From years, yeah.
I'm looking at
Affleck's satellite
from Affleck's,
dish.
I know.
You guys are happy neighbors. Like, is she a good neighbor? Like, do you like a chatty neighbor
Honestly,
or do you like a chill
I've lived
neighbor?
there for 20 years in February, and we finally met last year as I was walking up the hill. She was outside.
Yeah.
She was like, "Hi, Kevin." I was like, "I know who you are. You have the world's greatest memory." And I quizzed her. I started quizzing her. I was like, "What happened December 12th, 1982?" And she told me a bunch of stuff I couldn't double check. So I felt
December 12th, 1982 was a Sunday.
Look at that. Isn't that nuts? Isn't that crazy? Somebody look it up, though, because she does this all the time, and nobody checks. She could just be making it up.
I never lie. I'm never wrong.
You're
there
right.
you go. I have to ask you this.
She's an honest, wonderful neighbor, very, very quiet and stuff.
Yeah, quiet.
Very cool. The only other time I saw you was I always hike up past where she lives, her driveway. So as I was hiking one day, I saw her in the middle of the street looking like very concerned, and she was in her robe. And I was like, well, "Hey, how are you doing?" And she goes, "Did you see a file of paperwork my husband
left his little leather case on top of the car and drove off."
Oh,
that's a toy move.
That's the thing. He doesn't have the memory that she has.
Very true.
So he forgot the thing and left it. Did you ever find it?
No, unfortunately.
Can I ask?
Yes. No.
I have to ask you a question. You recently bought the movie theater.
Yeah.
This is like a dream of mine.
My hometown movie theater, where my father used to take me when I was a kid, and where I would go on, like with my high school girlfriend every Friday and stuff like that. So my DNA is all over that. Yeah. That's why I had to buy it to clean it up. It's kind of cool. There's an apartment above it, so I'm going to live there as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So my TV room is going to be one of 5 theaters.
Nice.
We'll just plug in the phone and watch whatever we want. But the idea of like having a movie theater is kind of vanity for a filmmaker. You're like, "Oh my God, I make movies, so we put them in a movie theater." But I have ways to monetize a movie theater that other movie theaters can't. For example, I just wrote a flick. We're going to shoot in the movie theater.
Oh, smart.
If you own a movie theater, make a movie in the movie theater.
That's meta. Very meta.
We're going to do a film school this summer. I've always felt like movie theaters, like during the day, they're so empty at matinees.
That's a good point.
And stuff. You can use them. What is it if not a classroom? A bunch of chairs, big whiteboard at the front.
Sure.
This guy.
So we're going to do the Jay and Silent Bob Film School, teach people how to make Jay and Silent Bob movies. And we're coming up, the first thing we're doing, like, it's just a way to do fun and games. We're doing Hollywood Babylon, one of my live podcasts there on October 8th.
So are you moving here?
To Denver? No, this is all in New Jersey.
This is all in Jersey.
Oh, in
New Jersey. But honestly, after last night in Boulder, I seriously considered
Denver's great.
Oh, it's gorgeous.
My God, I went into this theater. We were at the Boulder Theater and we showed Clerks 3. I'm on tour with Clerks 3, folks. You can go see. Look for tickets at clerks3.movie. But anyway, I was there at the theater. It was like going to a church where I was both the priest and Jesus at the same time. Oh my God, they welcomed me so hardcore, man. I was like, I could live here in a big bad way. Best reaction to the movie that we've had on the road outside of like the first screening in Jersey.
Way to go, Boulder!
Go Boulder! And Denver, our show tomorrow night in Denver is like sold out, so that's like 1,800. So Colorado is a great place.
Yes, it is.
Oh, it's incredible.
Well,
I heard that you were a baby crying at Benifer's wedding.
I did.
I know you guys are super
I did.
close.
I had a ball. It was, you know, when somebody invites you to their wedding and you got to take 2 flights to get there and you have to wear special clothes.
Yeah, right.
Like, I go out of my way to wear whatever the hell I want in life. Somebody's like, you got to wear white. And I'm like, oh man, I look terrible in white. I'm going to look like the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. So
Come on.
it was a pain. Once I got there, though, It was a storybook love, and they stuck the landing with this like fantasy ending. It was beautiful, man. Like the kids really do love each other. They loved each other back then and stuff, and they went and had separate lives and did everything. And now have come back together and joined their lives. The way they included everybody and their family in the wedding, it was beautiful. Ben wrote this big speech that he read to her like during the reception. And I'm a huge Ben Affleck fan, obviously. I've worked with him many and I like him as a person, but I also like him as a writer because he's very clever with the word of phrase and stuff, turn of phrase. And it was a long speech, but the whole time Jennifer was soaking it up because it's all about her and how wonderful she is. And I think the second person in the audience who was like this was me, because I was like, oh, he's so clever. You rock, man. Tell me how much you love her.
I have to ask you, because you're known to put personal pieces of your life in your movies.
Yeah, that's all I do. I'm not very creative like the creative people write and invent things. I just take my life and change names.
Now, though, you did get kind of somber, or maybe it's not, when you put the heart attack in Clerks 3. Tell us what that meant to you. Was it hard watching it?
Well, I mean, if you're going to make a Clerks 3, you got to approximate the formula that we went at with Clerks, which was essentially I took my life and changed all the names. So it was close to my real life as possible. I didn't do that in Clerks 2. Clerks 2 is, I love that movie to death, but it's like fan fiction. I never worked at a fast food joint. I've never seen a donkey show, and there was never any threat I'd move to Florida. Those were the things in Clerks 2.
Now.
Clerks 3, especially now. Clerks 3 is, I wanted to follow the same formula of the first movie, so I was like, let me strip mine my life again and just change everybody's names. So Randall has my heart attack. Randall and Dante make the movie in the convenience store that I did like nearly 30 years ago, and they both still work at that store, which I did when I was a kid. So it plays more authentically, or as authentically as the first movie. I can't give you a boots on the ground retail experience like I did with Clerks, because I haven't worked in retail in nearly 30 years. Now I own a retail establishment. I've owned like Jay and Silent Bob's Secret Stash comic book store for like 25 years. So if, you know, in the movie Randall says, this job would be great for working for the customers. If I had an employee say to me like, this job would be great for working for the customers, I'd be like, well, then you're fired. So I went from clerk to like boss. So I can't give you the boots on the ground retail experience, but instead I could give you the authentic experience of my life, and the near-death thing felt like it
very
was
Bob Fosse too. Yeah, completely.
Thank you.
Why do you
in
say
my
that?
head, why? Because
Bob
all that jazz.
Exactly.
The movie All That Jazz was Bob Fosse doing like his life story and stuff, and Clerks 3 is kind of like that. Kind of well done, Mary Lou.
He could have stayed the entire hour. He just flowed. Like, I felt like that we were just hanging out with a friend. He fit right in on that panel.
Right. I mean, I remember talking to him, and he was doing a Q&A, and I was like, how cool is that like your life is just answering questions about the things that you love and have been talking about for decades, and finding this one thing that's so galvanizing to so many people. So shout out to him.
Dream life. Loved him. Coming up on DBL, Magic Johnson makes us laugh out loud with a hilarious story about his unlikely friendship with rival Larry Bird. And Michael Bublé also had us in stitches. He tells us all about his album Higher and why he says this is his best work yet. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. So Thanksgiving at our house has kind of like changed over the years. You know, I grew up with a very traditional Thanksgiving, and then when I lived in LA, I was gonna fall asleep. We used to go to a place called the Gentle Barn on Thanksgiving Day, which was so wonderful because what you do is you feed turkeys, and then you have a Thanksgiving feast, all plant-based, and then after the Thanksgiving feast, you do a drum circle with some of these local indigenous leaders in the San Fernando Valley, which is part of Los Angeles. And it was so cool.
You do this on Thanksgiving?
Yeah. That was Mark and I. We used to do that on Thanksgiving. We loved it.
The whole day you'd be out feeding turkeys?
No, I would say from like 3 p.m. till 8 p.m.
When you should be eating?
No, you do have a Thanksgiving feast. But
when is that, 10?
No, we had the Thanksgiving feast after we fed the turkeys cranberries. Anyhow.
What? Do they like cranberries?
They loved it. And you could hold them, and I forget if it's the male or the female actually purrs in your lap like a kitty cat.
A turkey does?
Yeah, purrs in your lap like a kitty cat.
It a
And then this year, I think we're gonna go to a restaurant instead of like doing something at home. I know that's different and unique, but you know, Thanksgiving isn't the most popular holiday in our household. We just want to give thanks and be plant-based.
Yeah, we'll go to like a Greek restaurant or something like that.
No, there's a plant-based restaurant we might go to.
I mean, it's gonna be. Why didn't Thanksgiving really take hold in your house?
It did growing up, but when the main course is turkey and you don't eat turkey, For us,
what's the best vegan substitute? If you had somebody that's like, look, I'm a hardcore meat eater, but I'm gonna do when in Rome. So like, what's the thing you would serve? Like
seitan. I don't know if I'm saying it right.
It is.
Seitan or seitan or whatever. Seitan. Tastes like meat for meat eaters. Sometimes it's almost too much like meat flavor to me, and great with potatoes, green beans, all the different sides. It's a good marriage. Yeah.
Okay. Good call, man.
Welcome back. Welcome back. We've all had surprises that threaten to ruin our day, but thankfully, there's Michael Bublé to make us smile again. Check out this hilarious interview we had with Michael Bublé a bit earlier.
Dance like that. We can dance like this. Yeah.
What's up?
Are you getting a little?
You look at you guys. They said you guys were handsome. You look beautiful.
Let's talk about the fact that I thought you were taking a brief nap. You and your wife are expecting baby number 4. Congratulations.
Yes.
But how?
Thank you very much. Thank you so much, and I appreciate that you appreciate all the work that I put into that, making the baby.
It does take 2. It does take 2.
It's,
yes. But how did your other kids take the news?
It's been a good time. Oh, the kid? Well, to be honest with you, my 5-year-old was devastated. Devastated. He cried when we told him Mommy had a baby in the tummy, and he said, I don't understand why I wasn't invited to watch when you fell in love and made the baby. I swear to God, that is exactly what he said. Wow. Yeah. So
you're gonna have to write that down.
I didn't even know what to say.
Yeah, you're gonna have to tease him about that later when he gets of age and older. Trust me, he's not gonna want to hear that story.
Oh, you know it. Oh, you know. How are you guys? Can I come and be with you? I feel like I could be with you guys on this show, and I could be. Is it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Would you have me?
Yeah.
Welcome.
Yeah.
Would we have you?
We are making room at the table. Okay. This is Bublé Day.
Yeah.
You think 5? You think 5 is not like is an odd number that people would be weird?
No. We're gonna have you come join the table. In fact, you can even go join Jeff in his car because he has a 6 CD disc changer.
I got a 2009 Xfinity, and I don't know if you have something going with them, but no matter what CD I put on, it goes back to disc 2, song 7, and it's I just haven't met you yet. Every single time I hit CD play. Every day. Every time I hit CD.
I love you, and I'm sorry. That's amazing.
So you all Xfinity, I don't know what you guys worked out, but it's Bublé Day every day.
I'm telling you now, you want my new record Higher to get stuck because it really is the best record of my life. And I know, listen, I know every artist comes on your show and they say, my new book is the best book I have, and my new movie is the best, but you know, they're just liars. Can I try something right now?
Yes.
Yes.
Alexa, play Higher. Because I'm interested now in all the millions of people watching your show. If their whole world just went crazy because Alexa's now playing Higher.
Everywhere.
Oh my God, I just made so much money on all those streams.
You really did. That was a straight G move. Yeah. Now let's talk about you because you've always found ways, and I love this about you, to bring your family into your music. So how did you make them a part of your new album, Higher?
They're always a part, you know. They're just listen, I don't want to speak for you, but just the way that your families are a part of everything you do. I mean, we've been through a lot in my life, and I have a great. My wife is my best friend, and she's the matriarch of our family. I got these beautiful kids, and we're happy and we're healthy. And if I can't be inspired to greatness with those things, then I am dead inside.
Wow.
And to be honest, it's all just going absolutely perfect. As perfect as this interview is, which is, I think, you thought I froze there, but no, I didn't. Because this interview is so perfect.
Do you know how, I thought he froze, then I thought he was joking, then I went back to froze. You got me. You got me.
And by the way, I'm not one of those guys that would ever, I hate when people hawk stuff and they come on with products. It's disgusting.
Let's talk about your campaign that you're doing with Bubbly, called The Bubbly Side. Why should people check it out? Tell them.
Because we need each other. Because the world can suck. And we've been all going through really hard things. And when the marketing people who I need to hire for my own record at Bubbly came up with this campaign, I thought it was great. Because this whole record, when I made my record, it was about having hope. And it was about going through hard things and finding the strength to get up and to basically make lemonade out of lemons. We see the world through the eyes of our kids and this sense of wonderment, and I think it's a pretty cool campaign to be a part of.
Michael, you have been such a gem. Let me tell you, thank you for chatting with us. You're always welcome on our show. To our viewers, learn more about the Bubbly Side with Michael. Check out bubbly.com, and please, you can stream his new incredible album, Higher, right now on any music player. Just ask Alexa.
It's already playing.
And I'm sending you all this, by the way. My people are going to send you this new flavor, blueberry pomegranate. I'm going to get, that's coming to the studio for you guys tomorrow, okay?
And then you're
it's
coming
delicious. I'm angry that they never let me try it before.
Yeah, but then you're next to Erica's point. It's first the bubbly water, then it's the buble.
Yeah.
Thank you, Michael. We appreciate it.
That was fantastic.
Bye, guys. Take care.
Thanksgiving leftovers. They may taste super yummy to you, but be careful before serving that food to your furry family members. We checked with these sources, and they say many of the foods on the Thanksgiving table, well, they aren't safe for pets to eat. First up, the main event. While turkey is often used in commercial dog food and can be healthy for dogs when cooked plain, Thanksgiving turkeys are packed with flavor, or at least they should be. And the fats, oils, spices, and seasonings used to flavor it, as well as the skin, well, they can be dangerous to pets. That's because too much fat puts pets at risk of pancreatitis, which, according to the Pet Poison Helpline, is an inflammation of the pancreas that can result in vomiting, diarrhea, loss of appetite, and abdominal pain for your pet. So, it's a no for turkey. Next up, the holiday ham. According to the American Kennel Club, ham contains a higher fat content than most other types of meat. It's often high in salt and sugar, according to Purina. Both of those are reasons why ham is bad for pets. So how about stuffing or dressing? Onions, garlic, and chives, well, they're all common ingredients in stuffing, and they're poisonous to both dogs and cats, according to the Pet Poison Helpline. So it's a no for all of these items too. But there are some plain foods often used in Thanksgiving dishes that are safe for pets. Apples, green beans, sweet potatoes, zucchini, winter squash, carrots, and popcorn are all on the Pet Poison Helpline's list of pet-safe foods. It's important to stress, though, that these foods must be free of oil, butter, fats, sugar, spices, seasonings, and salt. According to the American Veterinary Medical Association, the safest way to treat your pet during the holiday season, well, it's to share some treats or a holiday-themed toy. With your Verify, I'm Ariana.
All of a sudden, we started to win. He's going to be the greatest player of all time.
And in walks Magic Johnson, approaching the podium.
Yes, welcome back to DBL. That was a clip from Magic Johnson's docuseries, They Call Me Magic. Earlier, we got to speak to the legend himself about his life and career. Check it out.
Your smile is just lighting up our entire studio. It is contagious. So Magic, congratulations. You've got your new docuseries coming out. Why do you feel like this is the right time to share your story?
Well, I think what happened was really when Michael Jordan came out with The Last Dance and it ended, my phone just started ringing off the hook. We love what happened with Michael Jordan. Now we want to hear your story. And so I think that's what really inspired me to do it. And I had to find the right partner, and Apple TV Plus has been the right partner. And then, you know, you start making the phone calls, asking people would they be in it. And everybody said yes. And so here we are. But I'm excited because I wanted people to know, yes, it's been some highs, but it's been some lows too in my life. It's been some difficult moments, some difficult times, but it's how you get through them is what matters. And so that's what it's all about.
Amen.
Absolutely. And sir, I wanted to ask you this because I feel like everything that turns out to be great needs something to drive it, like a catalyst. And I feel like for you, that catalyst was your rivalry with Larry Bird. I mean, you guys went at it and for more than a decade, forever. So I feel like that would have gone on. But then you guys did a Converse commercial that led to the start of your friendship off the court. Do you guys think you would be friends today if it wasn't for that commercial?
Well, I would say that it would never probably would be the friendship without that commercial. That changed both of our lives. So now we're shooting a commercial 3 hours. It's time for lunch break. I'm thinking I'm going to my trailer to eat. But he says, no, Magic, come to the house. My mother has prepared lunch. So I can't turn down Mom Bird, you know. So I go up to the house, and he's on one end, I'm on the other end of the table. She brings out the last dish of the food, and she says, Larry, did you tell him yet? And he says, no, Mom, you tell him. She turns to me and said, Magic, you my favorite basketball player.
Betrayal at the Bird table. I love it. I love it.
Well, Magic, you mentioned your children, and I'm going to say specifically EJ because I ran into EJ one time and fanned out like I had lost my mind. EJ is one of the most fabulous people I have ever met in person, okay? But you've been so transparent to share in the docuseries that you struggled when EJ came out as gay. Can you tell us what led to you accepting and loving EJ for exactly who EJ is?
Well, you know, great question, because we grow up wanting our kids to be what we want them to be, right? And so when that world changed, right, then that he didn't become an athlete or he didn't become what I thought he should be, then it was on me, not on him. And so I had to change. I had to accept who EJ wanted to be, and I had to love him for him. And I'm glad that he did change me. And what really got to me was all the letters and emails that he has received around the world, how many lives he has changed and saved. He has been responsible for letting other kids be themselves, as well as tell their parents that they wanted to come out to them. Because a lot of people wrote him and said, I was struggling with that until you came out, and I see how you just love being you. That allowed them to love themselves and become a person who they wanted to become.
Amen.
Absolutely. Magic, quickly, I just wanted to talk about, we talk about this on the show all the time, and it's frustrating when you hear about movies or shows that are made about someone without their input, a.k.a. Tiger Woods with the Tiger documentary. How do you feel about HBO, Winning Time, being made without your input? Because I'd much rather watch your docuseries.
Yes, you're absolutely right. Nothing we could do about it. You know, the Lakers couldn't do anything about it. The NBA couldn't do anything about it. And then, you know, there's some so much lies and not the truth, and so many things made up. So now people get to hear from me, get to hear from the real Lakers. I'm so happy that we're coming behind this so people can really get to hear the real truth on what really happened.
We got to have you back, Magic. Oh, what an honor.
To our viewers, to learn more about Magic's legendary life and career, watch his docuseries, They Call Me Magic, on Apple TV+. We'll be right back.
Thanksgiving was a time to come together, give thanks, and eat way too much turkey. In fact, most people don't eat everything on the dinner table, with the National Resources Defense Council estimating 200 million pounds of turkey will end up in the trash. So it's no surprise a top trending question on Google is about leftovers. But let's verify. Are leftovers safe to eat all weekend? Our sources are the USDA, the Mayo Clinic, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, and a postdoctoral associate of food safety at Virginia Tech, who explains the time to think about storing leftovers starts almost immediately after Thanksgiving dinner is served.
Right away would be ideal, but you know, if possible, within 2 hours, you want to refrigerate those leftovers, especially making sure to break down any larger pieces of meat.
Duong says it's okay to put food that's still hot in the refrigerator. If properly stored, the Mayo Clinic says leftovers will hold for 3 to 4 days. So it's true. Leftovers are safe to eat all weekend if properly stored. Anything longer, and the USDA warns dangerous levels of bacteria start to grow. The CDC says cases of food poisoning caused by Clostridium, which grows in cooked foods, peak around the holidays. Many outbreaks are tied back to turkey, roast beef, and other leftovers. So if you don't think you can eat the leftovers by Monday, consider portioning it out and freezing some right away.
A freezer is sort of like a win-win situation where you sort of are able to keep food at that peak freshness for a lot longer compared to a refrigerator.
With your Verify, I'm Brandon Lewis. To receive daily fast facts to your phone, text Verify to 202-410-8808. And to sign up for our newsletter, visit verifythis.com/email.
Welcome back to DBL. We love sharing your questions. So, Tori, we got a question for you.
Someone knows my name.
Someone knows your name. Mandy asks, Tori, what do you like to do to relax?
I actually do a lot of cross stitching.
Yeah,
I'm a sewer, and I just got back into it, and I'm starting, I think, a podcast. I talked a little bit about Al, maybe something like Stitch Happens or something funny, where I cross stitch as I talk about anxiety hacks.
I love it.
Right?
I love it.
That's right.
Stitch Happens.
Yeah, well.
Okay.
He didn't like the name.
All right.
No, there's already a podcast name.
Oh, got it. Okay, this one's for me from Carla. Sam, what are the most surprising foods your kids like and don't like?
Oh, that's a good one.
I was just talking about this with Sharon. My kids, so Miles is obsessed with chana masala, which is like an Indian chickpea dish. He could eat the whole takeout all by himself. And then Sophie's very basic, like mac and cheese, mom, spaghetti with butter.
Yes.
Literally the most basic.
Yeah, that's my kind of girl.
DBL's new every day. We'll see you again. Bye, guys.